Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another session of Singapore International Dynamic Speakers. Today, our theme is the Chinese New Year, but more importantly, endings and beginnings. Guys, it is always hard for us to accept endings, say goodbye, or to move on, because we become comfortable in our situation, in our acquaintances, our friendships. We don't want relationships to end. We don't want to start over, whether it's a new job or a new relationship. We are happy in what we have most of the time. But endings are important because they allow us to learn from what we have experienced in the past and to move on to newer and better opportunities. So it's always great for us to let go of the past. One person said it is always better to let go of what is good for what is better. And that is so true, because when we move on, when we say goodbye, when or whatever it is comes to an end, we take all the lessons learned into whatever venture we move on to. So we grow with each and every ending. Secondly, when something comes to an end, it's a milestone. It's an opportunity to check our goals and ambition. Are we on target? Do we need to work harder? When you are doing a project for school and you finish gathering all the information, that's the end of that phase of the project. Then you need to start compiling that information. After you compile that information into your first draft, that's another end. After you reread, rewrite, summarize, and finally compile your paper, that yet is another end. But ultimately, when you submit that paper, you have a paper that is well researched, well drafted, and you're on your way to getting a good grade. Same at work. There are many different phases in your career. You start out as an entry-level staff, you become a senior staff, soon you're a supervisor, you're a manager, you're an executive. There was a point when you stopped being an entry-level staff, your term as an intern ended and you became a regular member of staff. Then there was a time that ended and you became a senior staff, a supervisor. Then there was a time that ended and you became a manager or an executive. So each end allow us to reflect on our goals and our ambition and how much we have accomplished, how much more we can accomplish. It allows us to stay focused on our goals. So endings allow for new beginnings. It allows us to grow. Toastmasters and guests, don't be afraid of ending. Welcome endings because it allows you to grow and learn and stay focused on your goals. Again, welcome to Singapore International Dynamic Speakers. Today, we have a very, very promising meeting for us all, as we will be talking about a topic I know very little about. So it's an opportunity for me to learn from all of you. To lead us in the table topic session, we have our very own Toastmaster, Angela. Angela, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Edward. A new beginning. Over in England, where I'm not now, but where my husband is and my son, they have a new plan for education, and all the children will be learned to cook 6 items, 6 healthy items. And this will make all the children healthy and a healthy weight, which will help them succeed better at school and in life. Now, if you were devising 6 dishes that your local school children should eat, what would they be? And unusually this time, I'm going to treat this like a brainstorming meeting in a company. I'm going to ask all the people here if anybody has an idea. And if you want to be promoted, you need to keep jumping in and saying, yes, I've got an idea. So who's got an idea for 6 foods that the children should all eat? If you don't jump in, I'll pick somebody.
Fruits.
Sorry, not eat, but learn to cook. At school, I learned to do baked potato with grated cheese.
Would salads count? They're easy enough.
Ananda,
Yeah.
yes,
Would salads count? They're easy enough to make and they're healthy.
yes, please. Your 6 foods. Who's the timer? Please come
I
in
am.
timer telling everybody how the timing will work.
The time, this is the table topic session. For the table topic session, the time is 2 minutes, give or take 30 seconds. At the 1 minute mark, I will indicate a green background. At the 1.5 minute mark, I will indicate a yellow background. And at the 2 minute mark, I will indicate the red background, meaning you have 30 seconds to wrap up. That is how we will be timed during the table topic session.
Thank you. Now will you please time Ananya for her 2 minutes. She's going to tell us the 6 foods that she's going to get all the school children to learn to cook.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Mr. President Edward, Madam Secretary Angela, and my fellow Toastmasters and guests. I think that the first thing that children should be taught how to cook is salad. So it can be a vegetable salad or a fruit salad because they're fairly easy to make. You just have to mix up vegetables, fruits, and maybe some sauces to get something that's healthy, and it's easy enough to learn. So I am not a great cook, but even I can make a salad. So I think that children can learn how to make salads. So I think that would count as 2 dishes, vegetable salad and a fruit salad. And as for the other 4 dishes, 2 of them are rice and dal. So I'm not very sure how popular or how known they are outside of India, but within India, rice and dal are staple foods. So like you have potatoes in the US, I think we have rice and dal here. So they are also staple foods and they are quite easy to cook. That's what I survived on during lockdowns when I couldn't order food from outside. And the 5th and 6th items would be chicken and fish. So not everyone in India is vegetarian, but some are. So apart from those people who are strictly vegetarians, I think everyone else should learn to cook either chicken or fish or egg, because protein is a very important component of the diet and that should not be missed. I think that's it. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Angela.
Thank you very much. Do I have another volunteer on the same subject? Maybe you have different ideas.
I'll give it a go.
Okay, Edward. So we've heard Ananya telling us about fruit salad, vegetable salad, and chicken, fish, or egg as protein with rice. What are you going to suggest?
Empty crocosat cannot stand up. Empty crocosat cannot stand up. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. That is a popular saying here in Belize. Empty crocosat cannot stand up, meaning an empty bag will fall to the ground. When we are at school, we learn lots of different academical subjects, but one subject that I believe every school child should learn is how to cook. I believe every school child should know how to make a peanut and butter sandwich, a peanut, butter, and jelly sandwich. That's primary. Every child should know how to do that. Every child should know how to boil eggs. I personally love boiled eggs, but every child should know how to boil eggs as well. That's where, as one Toastmasters has already pointed out, you get your protein. Every child should also know how to prepare a bowl of oats. It's not difficult. So every child should know how to prepare a bowl of oats. It's fully and it's nutritious. I also believe that every child should know how to prepare chicken and fish. Every child in Belize, by the age of 11, 12, should know how to stew chicken, how to fry fish, how to bake chicken, how to steam fish. Those are two popular meats here in Belize. So every child should know how to do that. And finally, every child should know how to prepare rice and beans. That is our national dish here in Belize. Most Belizeans eat rice and beans. So how to prepare that coconut white rice and that properly seasoned stew red kidney beans, every child should know that. So in summary, Toastmasters and guests, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, boiled eggs, prepare stew fish, stew chicken, be able to cook rice and beans. Those are primary dishes that every school child should know how to do. Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Edward. That's very American with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I won't say what the Brits would think of that. Just let me say the word surprise. Boiled eggs, yes, that would go in Britain too. Boil of oats, breakfast, excellent. Chicken, I like the way you suggest 2 ways of cooking it. Frying, and I like the way you said by the age of 11. I would have said by the age of 7. What happens if mother falls down or goes into hospital? Rice and beans, now that's something we don't have, but I'm willing to think about it. Okay, I think we're on a winner here with this subject. I would like to hear from Shehan. Shehan.
Hi everyone. So I'm not in a good position to speak right now because it's too loud. I'm in the bus right now. I don't know whether you can hear me properly. Can you?
We can if you speak very slowly so the echo doesn't muddle up all the words. Speak.
Yeah, I'm traveling by bus, so it seems it's loud out here. So I don't know whether we can whether I can speak now. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of music out there and the wind. So do you hear us?
I think we need to come back to Shehan. He's in commute at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
come back to you later. How about Eliza? You may have a different view on this subject.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to me. Yes, I think it is essential to us to learn our kids to cook something or else when they are if they can do this, they can eat their food who they like. And is another is Edward Rubber said boiled dim is a very interesting food and very easy. Another is the fruit salad and salad, who is already said Anna. And another is I want to inform milkshake or chocolate milk is good for health, and they can make it easily. And you know, sometimes if guardians have prepared some meat or prawn, then the kids can prepare the fried rice with chicken or egg or some beans. This is easy for them. And another is they can prepare the sandwich also. Already Edward mentioned it. And some kids want to prepare a pasta. They like it and they learn it easily. And some kids, mainly the female girls kids, they want to prepare the cake or muffin cake or cupcake. They can, they are used to prepare this. Sometimes there not so many kids can do this, but some who is ages 12, 11 to 13 years, they can prepare, make it a cupcake or muffin cake, how is it called? So boiled ham, pasta, cake, milkshake, or chocolate milk, and another salad on another, and fried rice also. I think 6 items.
Thank you. Your time's
Thank
up.
you. Thank you.
Lisa managed to combine things from all the previous speakers, but she threw in her own idea. She added prawns, sandwiches, and cupcakes, which is a surprise because I thought they would be on the naughty list, but perhaps tea time if you've eaten healthy in the rest of the day. Thank you for those suggestions, Elisa. And she also went over time because she was doing what Edward had showed us to do, which was summarizing at the end. Who's not spoken? What about Bonnie? Bonnie, could you unmute and tell us what you would recommend for your 6 dishes that every child should learn in school to cook?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Angela, and the rest of the Toastmasters. So for the 6 dishes that every child should learn, I guess, well, I started learning cooking when I was around 8 or 9, and I had this recipe book that I loved, and I think one of the first things that I learned to cook was a salmon cake. So it was like canned salmon and breadcrumbs and onions, and it was just fried. And that was really nice and very simple to do. And for the second dish, I guess maybe a smoothie would be quite easy and relatively healthy for kids to make. So maybe like banana and berry smoothie, just whiz it up in the blender, and very simple for them to make. I guess the third thing that child should learn to make is maybe something baked. Like I remember when I was in school, we made hot cross buns for Easter. So I remember the really nice feeling of the fermented dough, like that we made with the yeast. So we saw it like expanding in size by like triple what it was in the beginning of the day. So I think that's a nice science experiment for kids to see happen, like fermentation in real life. So yeah, that's the third one. The fourth one would be, I'm not sure, maybe like an omelet, because it's easy to make and it's nutritious. It's got eggs, so yeah, they can just whip it up and fry it in the pan very easily. I think I'm on my 5th one now, so maybe 5th one would be I'm not sure, maybe like the soup. So if we're thinking in Singapore, with the Chinese soups that are available, like it's very easy. You just chuck everything in a pot, like chicken, dates, and then old cucumber or something, and then you just like boil it for a few hours. So that's another simple thing. I think I'm on my last one now, so let me try and think. I could make it a sweet ending, like with pancakes. If pancakes are really easy. You just, one of the most basic things you can learn, like you just add eggs and flour and butter, and then fry it in the pan, and it's really fun because you can make different shapes with it and add different coloring and make different, different shaped pancakes. So that's my 6 dishes that I would want to teach kids.
Thank you very much, Bonnie. Well, Bonnie gave us salmon cake. Now, normally I think of cake as being a dessert, but she had a savory salmon cake. Then we had bananas and dairy smoothie, a fried omelette, a soup with chickens and dates and cucumber, and the sweet ending, a pancake. Yes, pancake. Sounds very good. Not very healthy, but sounds very good and easy. Okay, now, is Shehan still on the bus? Let us find out. Shehan, can you tell us, are you still on the bus?
Yeah.
I think we're having trouble with the sound. We'll have to come back to you. Okay, I'm now going on to our New Year resolutions. You've all decided what you want the children to do. What are you going to do? What new things do you want to do? Is it a new pathway in Toastmasters? Or are you going to learn a language? Or learn a skill like Excel, or write a novel or a how-to book? Do I have a volunteer with an idea?
I'll go.
Yes, I thought you might. You had that look on your face, kind of ruminating. Over to you, Edward.
If you're not progressing, you are dying. If you're not progressing, you are dying. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters. I believe that if you are not progressing, you are dying. I have been putting off doing my master's in project management. I have been putting it off for the past 2 or 3 years. I have all the requirements. It should be an easy undertaking for myself, but I haven't started as yet. And I can come up with a host of reasons why I haven't started. However, this is the year that I will start my master's in project management. Why do I want a master's in project management? I don't know. But it's something I want. I do IT implementations all the time. I sit in front of stakeholders and make proposals why this project is beneficial to them, why we need to allocate more money to the budget, why we're behind time, or why we will finish on time. I've been managing projects for quite some time. So this is the year that I will go out and get one more plaque from my wall. My friends tell me, you don't need another diploma. You don't need another certificate. You're one of the most qualified persons I know. And that has always been one of the hindrances. You are right, I don't need it. But it's an ambition of mine. And as such, I will go out and get my master's in project management this year. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Edward. Well, that was very inspiring. You don't need it, but you're still going to do it. Perhaps you'll do some project management for us and tell us all which pathways we should be doing and what we should achieve by the end of the year. I think you need to get your master's and then start teaching other people what to do. Start an online university, teach us all project management. Okay, I'm going to ask people to speak in the order in which they spoke previously. I'm going to ask Ananya to speak second on the same subject. What are you going to do that's new, maybe challenging in the coming year? What's your dream, even if you don't need it?
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, Mr. President Edward, Madam Secretary Angela, and my fellow Toastmasters and guests. So to answer this question, I have to give a little bit detail about what I do for a living. I manage people's money. And in money management, there's usually a top-down approach that's followed, in the sense that the first strata of analysis goes into a macro analysis or economic analysis. So you decide, you look at different countries and find out which country is expected to do better and maybe invest in stocks of those companies, stocks or bonds or other asset classes of those countries. And once you have decided your country allocation, you move down to the next layer of analysis, which is the sector analysis, which basically means you look at the different sectors which comprise the equity markets. This is specifically for the equity asset class. And these sectors can be materials or consumer staples or consumer discretionary or metals and such other economic sectors. So this section of analysis basically depends on which sectors you expect to outperform the broader market in the near future, and accordingly over allocate and under allocate to the different sectors with respect to an appropriate benchmark. And the third and the final analysis point is companies within each sectors. Now this is where I lack, and this is where I hope to improve upon in the coming year. And for that, I'll have to read up on a lot of books, because it will need a lot of research, because at least in Indian stock markets, there are like 4,000 or 5,000 listed companies. And I'll probably not be able to cover everything, but if I have a framework to analyze any particular company in a sector, I can, I think, easily apply it to all of the companies in the same sector. So it is going to scale up a lot once I have overcome that initial hurdle of each sector's framework. So that's what I hope to cover in this year. I know that this has gotten a little too technical, but yeah, that's what I want to do. I didn't want to lie and make up something that I don't want to do. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day, Angela.
Thank you. That was a very useful analysis of the market. I would normally say, shall I invest in Apple or invest in gold? But you had a 3-point plan. Pick the country, pick the sector, and then pick the company to invest in. My goodness, I'm not sure I could do all that every day as I invest in.
You could hire professionals. I'm here if you are looking for one.
Thank you. My son says you have to take the long-term view. There are only certain companies that invest and buy and sell every day. Most people invest for 10 or 15 years, and over the time things will work out. Right, I'm now going to ask Elisa to tell us what will you be studying or doing that's new? What are your plans for the year ahead? What is your dream? And are you actually going to do something? Over to you, Elisa.
Thank you, Angela. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, President Edward, and I'm Angela, the Secretary. My plan, that means future plan for this year. Am I right? Today I'm working in a UN agency, you know, and there is, still I'm in a local staff. My future plan is, or my dream is become an international staff. And you know, when I work in a UN agency, so many people have had a dream to work in a headquarter. That means New York headquarter, UN headquarter. And also, this is my dream also. Last year, I attended an interview, but cannot pass and got this job. So I'm trying to do this. Another interesting issue, this year I am learning, getting a training, Forex trading. This training is online, this trading is online, and we can get the share or currency in online and buy and sell all are online, but need to invest money, dollar. And I already started it, and every day I getting lost. I don't know when I get the profit, and I can realize what happens, actually what happens or not, and how can I minimize my losses and the profit. So let's try and start to analyze this market, Forex market. I'm interested. That's why I want to do the work in this area. This is my plan for 2022. Let's see. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, big ideas. Moving up to America and learning more about Forex and currency and investment. So we have two investors and Edward investing in himself. How is Shehan doing? I can see he's still on the bus. No, doesn't look like it. That seems to be everybody on that question. How are we doing for time, Edward?
You still have Bonnie.
Oh, Bonnie. Yes, Bonnie. Yes, let's have Bonnie. Good.
Oh, hi. Was the question about what the goals are for this year?
What is your plan for this year? What will you do new, either studying or developing what you've already learned?
Okay, well, I have a lot of things that I want to learn, and I don't know where to start. But I guess one of them is investing, like everyone else. But other than that, I also want to improve my speaking skills, which is why I'm thinking of possibly joining Toastmasters. And maybe I might also think about starting like a YouTube channel, possibly, as a way also to help me improve my speaking skills, because I'm forced to listen to myself on video. While possibly getting subscribers and talking about things that I'm passionate in. Yeah, I guess that's the main things that I have planned.
What will your subject be, or subjects?
Oh, nutrition, because I'm a dietitian, so I love reading about food and nutrition and like the effects on our body and how we can maximize the power of food. So yeah, I was thinking of writing a blog, but I feel like blogs are not a great way to monetize. So, and also I want to improve my speaking skills, so I feel like I should force myself to just put myself in front of the camera, because I feel like my writing skills are fine. It's just speaking wise, maybe if I force myself to put out videos, maybe it might help me improve. Sorry, I don't think that's long enough, but I'm not sure what else to say.
So where will you create the videos? On Zoom or using another platform?
I'm still looking into, I guess I could just use my phone or camera and then upload it onto YouTube. Maybe I might use PowerPoint slides. I'm still trying to figure out how you can actually record it and then have a PowerPoint in the recording. Or I might just have like pictures up while I'm like narrating something. So
Thank you. Well, we've shot from green to red. That was very interesting. And investing, Bonnie is investing like everyone else, but it turns out that her real ambition is to make videos on nutrition. So we're looking forward to that. That sounds like a very concrete plan and something we can all enjoy and support her in. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. Edward, are we now at the end or do we need more topics?
We have 10 more minutes if you have more questions.
Oh, I've always got more questions. We will now move on to Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year, also called the Lunar New Year. What do you know about Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, or the lunar calendar? I see Edward frowning. I can give you some hints.
I can go.
Okay, Edward is volunteering. Right, go ahead, please, Edward.
The Chinese New Year signifies the start of a new lunar cycle. Topic master, fellow Toastmasters, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The Chinese are the ones who came up with the lunar calendar and the start of the lunar year, the first moon in February. I believe the festivities normally start around the 1st of February, but it signifies the first moon in February. In other cultures, it is the Spring Festival. But in Chinese culture, it's the start of the lunar year. From what I know from my Chinese friends, it is time that you wish your friends and your family good health and wealth in the new year. So apart from it being the start of the lunar cycle, it is the time of the year when you take that opportunity to wish wealth and health on family and friends and anyone in general you come in contact with. And I felt that was something that was new information to me. You wish them health and wealth. The wealth part was a pleasant surprise. Up until I met my Chinese friends, you always wish people you meet good health, be safe. But it was the first time I've encountered where you wish them wealth. That's a novel idea. We should all be wishing each other wealth. So I thank my Chinese friends for educating me on that aspect of the start of the Chinese New Year. So it's not only the start of spring in some culture, it is the start of the lunar calendar, and it's that time of the year where you wish your family and friends wealth. Remember that. Fellow Toastmasters, and yes, go forth and wish everyone wealth.
Thank you, Edward, for that new look at the Chinese New Year. not just lunar, not just spring, but also wealth. Good. I'm now looking at Ananya, and I'm going to ask what you know. Do you know anything about, if you don't know anything about the good wishes, do you know anything about the food? Because I'm here and everybody gives you 2 oranges, and they have to be mandarin easy peel oranges, or pineapple tarts, pineapple balls, something sweet to eat. What can you tell me about New Year, Chinese or any other culture? And what would you do with pineapples, or what would you cook if you had to return a gift and give somebody homemade biscuits or food?
That's such a big question and such a long question with so many alternatives, but surprisingly or not surprisingly, I do not have answers to any of them. So I don't know anything about Chinese New Year. The thing, I hope, like, I don't offend anyone, it's just a joke, but in India, it's said that Chinese items are cheap and they don't last. So so Chinese New Years are probably also the same way. They're cheap and they're probably going to last less than a year, even though they are supposed to last the whole year because that's the Chinese New Year. So this is what came into my head when I heard of Chinese New Year. But now, thanks to Edward, I know a lot more. And thanks to Angela, I know that they have mandarins and pineapples as the gifts during Chinese New Year. And but I don't know much about them either. I just know that Mandarin is a language and also a fruit. And I know this because I recently watched a movie, Shang-Chi, which was a Chinese superhero. So his father was being impersonated by someone who was called Mr. Mandarin. So this is my only association with mandarins so far in my life. And as for what I would give back, if someone gave me mandarins and pineapples, if I had to cook something and give them, I'd probably attempt a cake. But I have failed at making cakes many times. So it may or may not work out. It's their luck. Good luck or bad luck, it's theirs. That's it. Back to you. Toastmaster.
Thank you. What they usually make is something that's in lots of bits so you can hand them out. So it's either biscuits or it's not usually a big cake, but pieces like peanut brittle and so on. Okay, thank you. So Ananya came up with 2 interesting ideas. A joke which you can only tell to Chinese people with a great sense of humor, and the link between the Mandarin language and the Mandarin oranges. I think I could work on that in a speech or a talk. Okay, I'm now going to move on to Eliza. And what springs to your mind, Eliza, when you hear the words New Year and Chinese New Year, and if you had Chinese friends who gave you a gift of either oranges or little food to eat, what would you give back?
Thank you, Angela. I have no idea about the Chinese New Year. Just when you said today's topics is Chinese New Year, then I opened Google and I have seen that 31st January to 15th January, their New Year time, and they've also, the Chinese people are getting 7 days holiday for this vacation for this New Year. Okay, and another. I have 2 Chinese students. studied together in our Bangladesh is North South University. This time we are not talking about their New Year issue. The people there were so nice, and we observed another issue when it is interesting. When our teacher start our exam, then teacher said, no one have seen this scripts or books, write own way, don't side talk and see the others' papers. This time, when I observed this Chinese friend, they are always, then the teacher also switch off the mobile phone and gave to the teachers to the mobile phone. But this student, one mobile set put in the table, but another is kept. And when my exam is started, then they say that they have seen these scripts and write it. This is one kind of cheating, you know. But they are very friendly. But then they're very much clever also. This is my observation, my opinion. Not all of them are who is our friends. They are little bit clever, and they are friendly. And another about this the New Year, I have actually I have no idea. I think about New Year means 1st January world celebrate. I think this is the worldwide New Year, but this time I knew that 1st February is the New Year of the Chinese New Year. And another issue is that they use some. It is that New Year depends on. And the moon rising, or like, oh, my time is over, maybe.
Thank you very much, Elisa.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Elisa has 2 pupils, so she can learn about Chinese New Year so that she can talk to her pupils and wish them Happy New Year. I'm sure they'd be delighted. How are we doing, Edward, for time? Can you tell?
We are just out of time, but you can give the last question.
To Bonnie.
Correct.
Good. Bonnie, can you turn on and tell us what do you know about Chinese New Year? And would you just give oranges if someone gave you the Mandarin oranges, or would you give them back some kind of little food to share? Biscuits of some kind.
So I think okay. So I probably am not the best person to ask, even though I'm Chinese. I'm not very traditionally Chinese, so I actually don't know a lot about the traditions. But you know, when I was a kid, I just basically said the New Year greetings to my parents, and then I would get the red packet with money. And obviously, it's only when you're not married that you would get that. So I'm still getting that now because I'm not married. And yeah, I think even if you're really old, you probably continue to get it as long as you're not married. And for the Mandarin oranges question, I think the custom in Singapore, because I don't think it's a custom anywhere else in the world. It's more of a Singapore Malaysian thing. I believe in Singapore they pass 2 oranges to you, and then they have to give you back another 2 oranges, not the same one. It has to be a different one. So everyone just stocks up on those mandarins and just keeps swapping it around, which I don't really understand the meaning of. But I mean, the mandarin orange thing, I guess it's because it's like a kumquat, which is considered like lucky in Chinese culture. So kumquats are like very small versions of mandarin orange that people will buy the plants, like a potted plant, and just like place it outside their home for luck. Yeah, and so like in Singapore, they also have this tradition of the Yushang, which is raw fish with salad that they toss with different greetings. And a lot of the greetings are used because they sound like some kind of lucky, something lucky, like because Chinese characters have the same sounds mean completely different things. So one character could mean fish, and then it also could mean abundance. So that's why they use fish, because it sounds similar to the same character as abundance. And I guess most Chinese people are very money oriented. So a lot of the greetings are related to money or wealth or fortune. Like almost 80% of them are money related, including, I'm sure you would have all heard, like 恭喜发财, which means wealth or great fortune or something like that. Yeah, so I don't know if I've already exceeded 2 minutes.
Thank you, Bonnie. Well, Bonnie, please never say that you don't know anything about a subject and then go on and tell everybody all about it. It's unnecessary to say you know nothing about it, especially as you know more about it than any of us. You reminded us all about the red packets, which are the gifts to the unmarried, containing money. You told us about the kumquats on the trees outside houses and shops and hotels, the yushang, the raw fish salad, and the greeting that we all know, how do you pronounce it? Gong Chi Fa Chai, wishing you wealth. Thank you very much, Bonnie. Lovely ending to our evening on Chinese New Year. Back to you, Edward.
Let's give Angela a round of applause for those questions. It took us from school to the Chinese New Year and everything in between. Excellent job, Angela. Very thought-provoking questions. Kept us on our toes. Guys, we are at the end of the table topic session. We will take a 10-minute break, and then we will return with the manual prepared speeches in the second portion of our meeting this evening.